Vladan Joler. I'm a professor at the Academy of Art in Novi Sad in Serbia, but I also do many other things on different universities around the world. And so for last, let's say 5, 6, 10 years, I was like basically trying to understand different aspects, different kinds of layers hidden behind our screens. So it started with this kind of discovering networks, mapping networks, and then I was going step by step further and further. And in one moment, I get involved with investigations of different kinds of algorithms, especially Facebook algorithms. And then I started to create some kind of huge maps of those algorithmic frontiers and topographies and so on. And then the next step, obvious step, was into AI, and then with Kate Crawford from NYU, I started one big research. It was called Anatomy of an AI System, and we basically tried to map different aspects of this kind of extended anatomy of one AI system, but we extended this anatomy really far. So it basically starting with Earth and all of those like transformation of different metals, and then trying to understand all the labor that is involved in all this process of creation of AI, and then also trying to see like what is going on after this kind of like technology and object that we're using die. So it's starting and ending with the geological layers, and basically that research was like kind of interesting because it connected. It's not just about like relation between humans and technology, but it's also a relation between humans, technology, and nature. And it ended up in some kind of, again, a big map that finished in some like really big collections such as MoMA, Museum of Modern Art in New York, or V&A. So it became some kind of like museum piece at the end, but it started as a research. And then I also investigated some kind of inner workings of AI together with Matteo Pasquinelli in the work called Nooscope. But that one was like more in-depth, some kind of exploration of like, let's say, assembly line of an AI and all of those limitations and problems and all of those like things that are hidden in the process. So in a way, that's my take on AI. But I'm kind of AI critic, so I can say. The technology that is involved in AI, it's not so big difference than investigating algorithms behind Facebook or something like this. But in a sense, like in that sense, I see more like AI as some kind of new marketing scheme of because like the same thing that we were calling algorithmic transparency, or we were calling big data before, or all of those like critical approach that we had toward that, it's basically the same, but the need for like this kind of contemporary capitalism to invent fancy new words and then to sell all of those technologies under some kind of new name. It's like what brought this AI into focus from my point of view. So, in a way, for me, it's kind of the same. This one, it's maybe a bit more difficult to investigate because, like, in the inner core of the process of, let's say, compressing data, and because I see AI as some kind of like a machine for data compression that compress data into models, and the main problem with investigating those models is that like some parts of it's like really hard or even not possible to reverse engineer in a sense. So we are a new resource, okay, not new. We were always a resource, but now what is tricky is that this process of extraction is going deeper and deeper. Like we're always a resort for like hard labor, like physical labor and stuff like this. But now the process of extraction is extracting information and data from our minds, our bodies, our conscious, subconscious, our diseases or our heartbeats or whatever. So each segment of our existence is becoming a new frontier for exploitation, new frontier for data collection. We tend to, especially here in Europe, like we tend to always solve things on this kind of like take care of ethics, like, and then the question is like where is the border? And then if you consider, for example, anatomy of an AI, then like most of the discussions about ethics are finishing at the model or creating some kind of unbiased AI model. That basically it's not possible, like, because like if you deconstruct the process of creation of AI, even just this one, like in present day, and then you will see that there is so much like a human in it, in a sense of like so many different people are making decisions like which data set to choose, like how, like data that is part of the data set, it's not created from the air, it's created by humans again, and then humans again are like like fine-tuning those models and also employing those models. So it's like full of human choices and human decisions. Then in order to make AI ethical, we will need to start from Congo. We will need to speak about, like the cargo ships. We will need to speak about the labor in Chinese factories. We will need to speak about many different aspects of this kind of long tail of production of one device. And in that sense, the only way to make the AI or any other, like contemporary technology, like a mobile phone or whatever, ethical, it's to deal with all of those like issues of like contemporary capitalism and neoliberal capitalism, all of those issues. And I think not a lot of people want to discuss that.